Hello, everyone. And of course, welcome back. You're listening to the Candice Buchanan Show right here on 98.5 FM. Island Fever in Orlando, your voice of the Caribbean in the city beautiful. And we have a beautiful day here. But as I've been saying all day, we're severely worried about our brothers and sisters in Jamaica at the moment. And right now, I have someone who is definitely in the know. I'm talking about a member of parliament for Southern Manchester. So all my Manchesterites, I have someone here to tell you what's going on the ground. Mr. Peter Bunting, welcome to Island Fever FM.
Thank you, Candice, and good afternoon to your listeners.
Thank you. We are so severely worried. All of us are in tune to our televisions, our YouTubes, our TikToks, but I fear we're getting the wrong information. So can you give us an idea of what's going on the ground first in your constituents and give us kind of a national picture of what's going on as Melissa bears down on the island?
Well, Melissa has been drifting westward about 130 miles below Jamaica for the last couple of days.
Yes.
And it's finally started to take that northern curve. Now it's curving up to the northeast. And it appears that it will make landfall sometime tonight through early Tuesday morning on the southern coast, somewhere between Alligator Pond in Manchester and I would say Black River in St. Elizabeth. That looks to be, based on the most current forecast, where it will hit. We're already feeling higher winds in the 60 to 70 kilometer per hour range, right. But that's just the beginning. It's anticipated to get up into hurricane category 4 or 5 later tonight. The speed of it, the forward speed is also starting to pick up. It's been a very, very slow hurricane. In fact,
yes, 1 to 2
meteorologists said it's going at walking speed,
Yes.
But it is forecast now to pick up substantially over the next 12 to 24 hours in terms of the forward speed. So we expect the major impact to be late afternoon through tomorrow morning. And then by tomorrow afternoon, it should be, have exited on the north coast and be heading towards Cuba.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And I have tons of friends in the Manchester. Actually, my dad is from southern Manchester, actually. And most of my father's side of the family is in that area and in the St. Elizabeth area. And this was an area that was very hard hit by Beryl. Am I?
Yes, this was the area that was most affected by Beryl. Southern Manchester and southern St. Elizabeth, I think, took the brunt of the impact of Beryl, and it took months in some cases for the utilities to be restored fully. So, it's really unfortunate that, the same area seems to be, based on current forecasts, it seems to be lined up to take the brunt. Although this time, unlike Beryl, where it basically followed the coastline going west, this time it's going to intersect the coast at almost a 90-degree angle. So it will impact not just those persons on the coast primarily, but to go diagonally across central Jamaica and exit somewhere in the Trelawney, St. Ann region.
And just so people have a good picture of this, we are talking about the eye wall, the epicenter of the hurricane. But I think people need to understand that the entire island will be experiencing this hurricane because of the depth, the width of it, and it is essentially going, the circumference is essentially going to be covering the island for many hours.
Yes, and with torrential rains are expected basically right across the island. The hurricane force winds, however, should not impact the eastern and perhaps the extreme western end of the island. So it doesn't appear that Kingston and even Portmore will be impacted by hurricane force winds.
That's good news.
Based on the current forecast. So that's a break. Those are very densely populated areas.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, there still be probable significant flooding right across the island. And so all low-lying areas in particular will likely be flooded. And the hillsides will have landslides. Already I'm hearing in Portland and St. Thomas, my colleagues talking about landslides, blocking roads and so on.
Already. And just for reference, guys, this conversation is happening at about the 1 p.m. Eastern time hour, which is right around midday in Jamaica. Mr. Bunting, could you tell us what are some of the evacuation methods you have employed and some of the mitigation methods you've employed in your constituents to help the people that you are in charge of?
So from about Thursday, we've been very busy doing drain cleaning across the constituency, trying to mitigate the impact of flooding by ensuring all the drains are opened up and that the rainfall will be able to leave the local areas as quickly as possible going into the major drains. We've also done some pre-packaging of some relief supplies. About 10 hurricane shelters are opened. Particularly the New Forest Primary and High School will be the shelter for the people from the Alligator Pond area. And so those are all mobilized and open. And then the NWA and the Parish Council have coordinated some pre-positioning of heavy equipment to clear roads after the passage so that relief supplies and restoration teams from the public utilities will be able to get into the areas as quickly as possible.
Okay, that's wonderful. And how are your colleagues doing in terms of securing and making sure that the people are safe during the passage of Melissa?
Well, they've all been very busy, like myself, but there comes a time just about now when there's, for your own safety and everybody has their own family as well. So they start coming off the roads, and you have to sort of wait out the storm at this point to pass because you can create more problems for yourself and the leadership if you stay on the road too late.
Absolutely.
But the other challenge, of course, is that we've had electricity outages in many parts of South Manchester and South St. Elizabeth from last night. And the substations at Kendall and at Spurtree tripped from very early this morning. When you have that occurring, a lot of the cell sites, their batteries only last 2 to 3 hours, and the cell sites go down, and then your communication is severely hampered, So already there are persons in South St. Elizabeth that have been trying to get from morning and with no luck. So I see that as one of the challenges. It will take, it's going to take some time before you get a restoration of communication, electricity, cell phone use, water, etc. That's really hampers the recovery effort and getting back to normalcy.
What do you have to say to us here who are watching, feeling helpless, not knowing what to do? I'm happy to have you back on the show in a couple of days from now to kind of help us understand how we can help from here our loved ones or family members who may be in Jamaica going through this storm.
Well, let me just say the amount of messages from Jamaicans in the diaspora that we've all been getting has been overwhelming. Everybody, expressing concern, sending thoughts and prayers, wondering how they can help. And undoubtedly, there will be a lot of opportunities for contributions after the storm. One of the things I say to persons, however, is they often want to send donations in kind, and we don't have a problem getting supplies locally. It's really funding it that usually is the issue. So I've seen in the past where persons have tried to collect clothes or food or stuff to send down, and the logistics of getting it here and the time it takes, and sometimes the cost for the shipping and the transportation is equal to the value of the goods themselves.
Right.
So really, the truth of the matter is the best ways to make a contribution through your your preferred charity or whatever organization that you have, that would get things
moving a lot faster,
rapidly.
Yes.
Or the good thing is that we will not have a direct hit on the airport, the major airport or seaports in Kingston. So, goods will be, those will be back up and operating in a couple of days, most likely. And therefore, the commerce, the logistics infrastructure will continue to move quickly. So we won't have a problem getting goods in Jamaica through the normal commercial channels. But the persons who will be most impacted and most vulnerable and need help, the fastest way to get help to them will be funding. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show. Definitely we'll be checking in with you a couple of days from now, just once you've been able to survey your constituents and give us a true picture of what is happening on the ground. Thank you so much for joining us.
All the best.
All the best to you and your family. Please stay safe and dry.
Thank you.
All right.
We'll do our best.
Thank you. That was Dr. Peter Bunting, and representing the People's National Party, and he is the MP, Member of Parliament for Southern Manchester. He's going to be with us in a couple of days from now. Basically, the message is, guys, batten down, stay where you are. Let's ride out this storm together, and once it's over, send the funding to help your brothers and sisters back home. You are listening to the Candice Buchanan Show. This is 98.5 FM, Orlando's Caribbean voice. We will come back just after this, but let's go back to the music.